I'm Elizabeth Champlin, and I'm a senior in psychology.
I'm Elise Mabry. I'm also a senior in psychology, and our study is called Speak the Beat, the Influence of Rhythm on Speech Production. It explores whether a priming rhythm which has no melodic component can influence speech production rate.
So this research comes out of research on prosody, and prosody is the way that you say something. So for example, if you see a mouse in a cage, you're going to be like, oh look, a mouse. But if you see a mouse run across the floor, you're going to be like, oh look, a mouse. So the way that you say something can really influence the meaning. All of the past studies have linked music and language together, suggesting that the rate of what you hear influences what you say.
So, for example, in previous studies, participants who heard a fast prime sentence spoke faster, and participants who heard the slow prime sentences spoke slower. In another study, participants who heard fast melodies spoke faster than those participants who heard slower melodies.
So, for example, have you ever been driving in your car listening to really fast music and then you realize that you're speeding? Well, that's an example of how what you hear can influence your behavior. And so, all of the previous stimuli have had a music or language component, and we wanted to see if we could do this without a music or language component and see if we can get the same result.
So, our study asks, can a priming rhythm which has no melodic component influence speech production rate?
So, in our study, we had 106 native English speaking participants. The participants would view animated pictures and describe each picture. So, before they viewed each picture, they would hear a stimulus that were composed of pings, drips, heartbeats, or a metronome. And then 60% of the trials were changed, and so they would hear a change in the sequence, and they would respond with a button press. So, for example, participants would hear ping, 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 beep, ping, ping, and they would respond to the beep with the button press when they heard it. And so there were 3 conditions: the fast short condition, the fast long condition, and the slow long condition. The fast conditions were twice as fast as the slow condition, and so all throughout the study, participants would hear the stimulus, view the picture, describe the picture, hear the stimulus, view the picture, and describe the picture, and they would do that for 25 trials, and then they took a survey about language and musicianship.
So we were surprised to see that there was actually no effect on speech production rate. However, there was an effect on reaction time. So in both of the fast conditions, participants responded faster to the change in stimulus than they did in the slow condition.
So we did not have an effective speech production rate, but we did have an effective reaction time. So the participants responded faster to the fast conditions than they did the slow condition.
So in previous research done with a language or a music component, there has been an effect on speech production rate in both adults and children. For this study, the metronome-like prime did not have enough information for the listeners to latch onto to be able to affect speech production.
So we think that we would need a prime that would either have a melodic component or a language component in order for an effective speech production to take place. But these findings are important because we know that with children who stutter, that if their parents slow down their speech rate, then they will stutter less. So now we know that we can't just give a child a metronome and have them stutter less because of the beat that they're hearing.
Thank you.